Let's do a quick trade recap on the NQ short that I took today. Let's quickly run this back to replay mode. So to start, on the 4 hour, we had this 4 hour inverse reversal gap that was getting respected to the consequent encroachment pretty well. And from our Tuesday reversal price, we are reaching the 2 to 2.5 standard deviation projection. Coming down into some lower time frame price. If we look at midnight open, the reversal swing we had before the midnight expansion, we're actually reaching it into the 3.5 to 4 standard deviation level of that as well. So that's 2 standard deviation projections that are adding up as reversal confluences here, or maybe even reaccumulation zones. But if we look down onto the 1 minute here, after 9:30 priced open, we kind of chopped sideways a little bit, but we were getting some London high SMT on ES and NQ. NQ was running London high, ES was not. And then as we opened up in the macro here, we can see that price actually created an SMT swing. We actually ended up taking out these early 9:30 open highs while ES did not. And we created this 1 minute BISI right here from our manipulation SMT. So whenever we create these imbalances on the manipulation swing, we're looking for them to get inversed as a reversal confirmation. So I was looking bearish here just because we had this candle right here at the bottom was actually a 4 hour bullish fair value gap that I want to see price get tapped into. We can see it kind of right here. There's this 4 hour fair value gap that I want to see price touch. That was my draw on liquidity at least. But get back to my replay here. So I was looking for a little bit of bearish retracement, not even like a full bearish extension, but we definitely did look like we needed some retracement. We were pretty overexpanded throughout the whole week. But yeah, so we had this 1 minute BISI. I was waiting for price to completely inverse. So it chopped a little bit after that 10 o'clock open. So let's watch price chop a little bit here while we're in the lower time frame on the 1 minute, looking for this 1 minute BISI to get inversed. So boom, right there you can see a price actually inverts this 1 minute BISI, creating a PDI, which is a pre-distribution inverse. And basically that's just the fair value gap that creates manipulation. You want to watch it get inverse to create a PDI fair value gap. Now I was looking for this 4 o'clock or this 4 hour draw. And then we had this 1 minute breaker right here on this manipulation. With this 1 minute breaker and this 2 minute SIBI, I really wasn't expecting price to get all the way back up into this PDI, even though that would have been the most ideal entry. So like protecting this swing high and targeting that 4 hour would have been a pretty good RR. But the 2 hour the 2 minute fair value gap that price created, I really wasn't expecting price to get that high. So after this candle closed inside of this bullish fair value gap, you can see we left this 2 minute SIBI. And in terms of sponsoring fair value gaps, if we're respecting this first fair value gap and then going back to a bearish fair value gap, it doesn't make sense that we would come back down to this bullish fair value gap and then respect it twice. So after this 2 minute SIBI got hit, I was looking for a short down to those 4 hour lows because it just seemed too clean. And I was protecting this most recent swing high before we inverse the PDI fair value gap. Really any stop loss above this PDI will be fine, but that's just the swing I was targeting. So as soon as price got back up in that 2 minute SIBI, I was looking to take my entry. I think this next candle was the one that tapped it. So yeah, I was short here. One contract on ES or on NQ, and my break even was at the swing low that I had just created on the retracement back to that fair value gap. At this point, we are out of macro. So macro obviously manipulated highs. So I was looking for the next cycle to be distribution down to these 4 hour lows or the 4 hour fair value gap. So letting price play here, we can see it actually chopped around a little bit and it came back and tapped that PDI. So there would have been an opportunity for a little bit better RR, but I was more worried about not missing the trade rather than getting the perfect entry. So I allow myself to be in a little bit more drawdown in order to not miss the trade. So price chopped around a little bit, but then you can see a couple candles later, we hit our break even target. So at that point, I was break even on this trade. And I was looking for that 4 hour to get distributed. We were chopping pretty close to my break-even stop loss, so I was fully accepting that I could get stopped out here. But I didn't think it would, because after we closed to that break-even level, you can see we actually inverse this fair value gap right here. So there's no real reason for price to get back above this, especially since we are respecting that breaker. So then I just let price play out. And boom, price absolutely tanked out that 4 hour BISI target and even dumped a little bit lower. So the reason why I got out here, and I'm not leaving it hold, because I think price is around this area now. But the reason I got out here is just because I'm looking only for my piece of the pie. It totally could respect this 4 hour bullish fair value gap and continue taking off higher. This macro manipulation swing, the standard deviation projections are around London low and Asia low. So I am kind of expecting these price levels to get taken out later in the day, maybe even before AM session closes. And the right under midnight open price, which makes them even more high probability because it'd be a discounted price target. But I am not looking to hold my trade that long. I only had one contract in the market because if we actually look over here at my executions, we can see that on a $50,000 account, whenever I risk only 1%, that's only about $500 per trade. And with this risk to reward, that was $555 as my risk. So I was really only looking for one contract here. I wasn't willing to risk that much more on, but we can see how close we're getting down here to London low and Asia low. I expect these price targets to get taken probably either during lunch or during PM session. But taking a look at my executions, I entered here at that 2 minute, like I said. For some reason during my trade, it actually closed itself, and I don't know why. You can actually watch it on the TikTok that I'm going to post in a little bit, but price just kind of closed my entry for some reason, so I quickly just entered back in because thankfully price was right around where I entered initially. So I just entered back into the market and let my trade play down to my 4-hour target. But that's the entire trade I took today. I think I made about $1,000 on a paper trade, TradingView account. They're not live funds. It's not an eval, not a funded account. We just took a demo trade today. But if this was insightful at all, please drop a like. If you liked the video, drop a like. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment. Please subscribe for more trade recaps, more trade content like this, and even some degenerate content. But that's all I have for you guys, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.